It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the Eastside Real Estate team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. It is Wednesday, October 30th, right?
30th, all day.
All day. We're glad you joined us today. Just so you know, we're live streaming. Thanks for joining us online. If you're watching us online, we appreciate it. And feel free to go to YouTube and look up 1150 KKNW. If you'd like to listen to this and past episodes, you can find those episodes on any place that podcasts are podcasted. I got to figure out the term for that.
Podcast rated.
Podcast rated.
No, that's
not.
That doesn't work. Podcasted, yeah.
Anywhere they're podcasted. Also, too, you can find them on our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com. We've got a great show for you today. I'm excited to have two fantastic guests in studio with us. We're going to have Mike Nakamura of Mike Nakamura Photography and Wilma Peck, representative for Michael's Auto Repair. But of course, before we get started, as always, it's time for some Real Talk.
This week we'll be going over several reasons it's a great idea to buy a home this fall instead of waiting out the winter months. The first and most important reason to buy a home is that prices are continuing to rise. CoreLogic's latest home price insight report shows that home prices have appreciated 3.6% over the last 12 months. The same report predicts prices will continue to increase at a rate of 5.8% over the next year. This means that the bottom in home prices has come and gone. Home values will continue to appreciate for years. Waiting no longer makes sense. One of the things that we often see, Dan, is buyers that say, oh, I'm just waiting to save a bigger down payment.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody that can save faster than home prices rise.
Appreciate.
That's right.
Especially in this area, right, with the prices.
That's right. Got another reason?
Yeah, another reason is mortgage rates. So they're projected to increase. We've seen them bouncing between 3.5% to 4%. And that's really great news because the lower the interest rates, the more your purchasing power. So even while home prices are rising, if you make that step towards home ownership, you're locking in a rate for 30 years. It's a pretty great way. Like anybody that signs a new lease in the next month, a year from now, that lease will come up. And guess what? It will change.
It's going to go
Your
up.
monthly payment will change. So by locking in a mortgage rate now for 30 years, it won't change unless you refinance, right? Then you have to go with market
taxes,
rates.
Insurance can go up modestly, but they're typically
That's a good point.
Modest increases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Another reason, let's face it, either way, you're paying a mortgage.
Yeah.
You're not paying yours, you're paying somebody else's. Even if you rent, you're making that landlord's mortgage payment. There are some renters who haven't purchased a home yet because they're uncomfortable taking on the obligation of a mortgage. Everyone should realize that unless you're living rent-free, say with your parents, you're paying a mortgage. Either that or yours or the landlord's. As an owner, your mortgage payment is a form of forced savings. The forced saving allows you to have equity in your home you can tap into later in life. As a renter, you guarantee your landlord is the person with that equity. Are you ready to put your housing costs to work for you?
Put them to work. Now, the last one I think is pretty funny. It's time to move on. It's time to do some adulting and finally buy that house. No, it's a little bit of tough love. So the cost of a home is determined by two major components, the price of the home and the current mortgage rate. Both are on the rise. So a lot of people have been waiting for something to happen in order to make that change. And Brian, you probably take phone calls. I take phone calls. We talk to our buyers out there who are waiting for something to happen. And I don't know if you're a fan of Dr. Seuss.
Oh, yeah.
But one of my favorite books, Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. And in that Oh, the Places You'll Go, there's the waiting place. And I mean, home ownership may or may not be right for you depending on the time. But if you're hearing this message and you're like, I know, then you know this is the voice saying you're in that waiting place.
Right.
Why not make that move? Why not take advantage of a really good time of year in the Northwest?
And see, my take is if you're not ready to put down roots, be a renter. But once you make that decision to put down roots, ownership flat out wins every time. In fact, so often we're putting people into homes that their mortgage is less than the rent they would pay for an equivalent housing option.
Yeah, and to circle back to the increase of prices, right? A lot of people are waiting for prices to decrease again.
Right. Good luck.
Well, it's a mistake because the only time they've really actually depreciated was during that Great Recession in the Northwest.
Right.
And as we talked to Pat Stone a few weeks ago, talking about the growth into the area, there's a level of confidence that the area growth will be great. And I read in the Wall Street Journal today kind of talking about the economy and how it kind of in the third quarter it wasn't great. It was kind of a sluggish economy. And what were the factors there? And one of the major factors was reinvestment by corporations, right, into the businesses. Because of the tax breaks the year before, there was a lot of reinvestment. Well, because of the global uncertainty in trade, less investment. But one thing that was on there that I was really interesting is the amount of investment into new homes, new construction. Since 2007, they showed a little chart, a little graph, and it showed from 2000 before, the chart showed like this giant graph. 2007 after, tiny bit. So it kind of goes back to what Pat was saying.
Right.
It's not enough new construction being built. And when you don't have new inventory, but you have people moving the area, you're running out of inventory. It's going to keep prices going. Yeah.
That's right. And, what's interesting to me, too, is, and we've talked about this before on the show, when I talk to people that are considering buying, the number one reason they don't is down payment.
Down payment.
And we have down payment assistance available in terms of grants, loans. I mean, there's all sorts of options. And one of the things I hear is, it's too good to be true. The idea that if it's too good to be true, it's not true. Well, guess what? There are options out there that are really fabulous. I mean, it's incentives for people to be in home ownership. So there's a lot of ways to be creative with down payment, but also it's so frequently less than people expect it to be. So Dan, what's your takeaway?
So my takeaway is this. When the time is right for you, you know it. And if you've been thinking, I'd really like to do something, the fall is a great season of the year to have less competition.
Right.
Reach out to a broker, reach out to Brian or myself. We'll be happy to walk you through the process. And if down payment assistance on the board, we've got great vendors that can help you with that.
That's right.
All right. Well, listen, that concludes our Real Talk for today. And if you're interested in this and any other topics we covered in our Real Talk segment, please check out our blog at theeastsiderealestateteam.com/blog. If you'd like to talk to us directly for your real estate questions, feel free to contact us at 425-200-4093. Thanks for listening. Up next, we'll be speaking with our lender for our Mortgage Moments segment. Stay tuned after this commercial break. We'll hear more about the market from Michael Burdick, a loan consultant with Loan Depot.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time homebuyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you stressed out just thinking about a new headshot? Well, Michael Nakamura Photography helps individuals and companies breeze past the pressure and anxiety with individual coaching and subconscious direction. No one leaves a session without their best headshot ever. Mike is a headshot specialist, creating hundreds of headshots a year for discerning customers. It's the home of the one-chin headshot. Give Mike a call at 425-260-4033 or check out his booking page. Just type into any browser mnp.as.me. Fall is a crucial time to have your vehicle inspected, starting with the 4 B's: batteries, brakes, belts, and blades. Cold weather only makes existing problems worse. A fall maintenance checkup may also include changing your oil, flushing your cooling system, cabin filters, and inspecting the heating and exhaust systems. Michaels can help get your vehicle ready for fall. Don't let ugly car problems ruin the beautiful season. Learn more at www.michaelsautorepair.com.
Find out the latest about your favorite shows on Alternative Talk 1150. Check out 1150kknw.com.
Welcome back to the show. You are listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. It's now time for the Mortgage Moment segment. During this segment, we get a quick update of the lending side of the home buying process. Today, we are talking with Michael Burdick, again, loan consultant with Loan Depot, who's been serving borrowers at a super high level for the last decade. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thanks, guys. Glad to be here.
Hey, Michael, how about you give us your top 5 list for best reasons to refinance?
That is a good list to go over, especially because it's such a timely topic right now. Anytime there's volatility in the market, it's a good time to refinance. So I thought it'd be a good topic to kind of go through.
Sounds good.
Number 1, and by the way, there are lots of reasons to refinance.
Should we have a drum roll or something? I feel like,
I brainstormed and I whittled it down to 5 really good ones.
Okay, number 5.
Number 5, remove PMI. So if your value's gone up, maybe you closed with 5% down, 10% down, and if you just keep your mortgage the way it is, it's going to take you, quite a few years before it falls off naturally on a conventional loan.
To remind our listeners, PMI, private mortgage insurance.
Thanks, Brian.
Exactly. Yep. Thank you, Brian.
Number 4?
Number 4, again, improve qualifications. So if your credit score wasn't perfect when you purchased, doesn't mean you shouldn't have got a home, but we can oftentimes improve your overall situation, maybe get you off of FHA, switch you to a conventional loan, which is going to give you better terms on your loan.
Okay. Number 3.
Obviously, the most popular reason that everybody hears about is lowering your interest rate. So if nothing's changed, maybe your credit has been over 740 the whole time. Now you do see a dip in the market where rates have improved, you're going to have savings a month. So it's a good idea to, keep tabs on that and see if there's any opportunities to save you a bunch of money per month.
And number 2?
Number 2, actually one more number 3.
Oh.
I don't. Sorry.
Got a tie, huh?
Wow, that's weird.
So this was kind of a side note on, lowering the payment. But a lot of people, when we do that review and we see that we have monthly savings because the rates have gone down, one thing that we decide to do is instead of lowering the payment and rate, we can lower the term and maybe keep the payment the same.
Oh.
Pay it off faster, yeah.
People are going to, pay it off faster, save thousands over the long term. So maybe switch it from a 30-year to even a 25-year. It's going to have savings. You don't need to drop it to a 15-year term.
That's interesting.
Lower it by 5 years, keep the payment about the same.
Okay, and then number 2. Now are we at number 2, Michael?
I think we are. Yep.
Okay.
Again, kind of goes in with one of the other ones, but a lot of people originally closed on an ARM, maybe because just where their family was at, they had goals to get a lower payment and keep the lowest rate, but eventually that's going to expire, whether it's that initial rate is expiring this year or in 3 years. If you've noticed the market go down, it could be a time to get yourself on a fixed loan.
Oh, that's a good one. And number 1?
Number 1 is to take cash out. So, there are strategic ways to use your equity as an advantage for you. And, a lot of people on vacations or do renovations to their home and they have high interest credit card debt that they're trying to whittle down over years. The best way to do it is to put it all on one payment that's fixed at a low rate, and borrowing money from, these mortgage companies right now, the rates are so low that it's just, I can save people hundreds of dollars per month by eliminating that high interest credit cards. And you can also use it for new remodels or to acquire another property. Maybe you want to buy an investment property. So lots of ways to use that equity to your advantage.
So, Michael, I know there's a lot of variables, but what's the range of rates you're seeing right now on the 30-year fixed?
So there are lots of variables, so you can't quote me on that.
Right.
Mortgage quote.
No,
but
I'm just
any
curious what range
prime
you're
borrower with good credit and a good down payment on a conventional loan is going to be below 4% now. And we've saw the improvement a little bit today from the Fed announcement. It helped mortgage bonds, but it's funny. On Friday, I locked one borrower, and today the rates are virtually the same, just because they'd gone up Monday, Tuesday. So we take it day by day, and we'll just see what happens over the next election year.
Awesome. So 5 great reasons, 5.5 or 6. That's what I count. Great reasons to refinance. Michael, thank you so much for coming on today.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, guys.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. Next up, after the break, we'll be visiting with Mike Nakamura of Mike Nakamura Photography. Come back after the break. Please come back.
We'll be right back.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Have you ever experienced being overwhelmed and uninspired when you walk into your closet filled with clothes, shoes, and accessories? Although you are surrounded by so much stuff, you still feel you have nothing to wear and can't create a fabulous outfit? All this closet clutter can lead to mind clutter. This is not a great way to start your day. Susie Cohen with Style with Susie can help you feel inspired again with a closet edit. The two of us will work together to create a curated wardrobe that will work for your lifestyle. We will go through piece by piece and decide what works, what can be reinvented, and what we need to get rid of. I will provide that second eye and give you the tools to shop smarter and find outfits that you never knew you had. My commitment is that you feel great so you can go out into the world and be your best self. Your closet is your playground, so let's have some fun.
Are you tired of waking up in the morning asking yourself if there will ever be enough time to get everything done? Are you tired of feeling stressed and overwhelmed in your business? Are you tired of not living the life you want to live? Then act now. Join Tina Mitchell at her next complimentary One Time Your Business 8-week burn. It's a live virtual online course to take your time management, business efficiency, and lead generation to the highest level possible.
Tina Mitchell here, your time management and business efficiency coach. I help business professionals take control of their business so they can take their life back. Go to onetimeyourbusiness.com and join me for a powerful 8 weeks for my complimentary course. Again, that's onetimeyourbusiness.com.
Seattle, Tacoma, Antwerp. That's right. We're streamed worldwide on our app and on the web at 1150kknw.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. Our first guest today is Mike Nakamura of Mike Nakamura Photography, LLC. Now, in his second stint photographer, he remembers why he picked up the camera in the first place, and it's for the people. Mike specializes in headshots and corporate event photography. While most of his customers are Bellevue headshots and Seattle headshot folks, he does travel for headshot photography as well as corporate event photography. He has been fortunate enough to photograph many celebrities, including President and Michelle Obama and Madeleine Albright. He's also photographed 54 Microsoft Store grand openings and worked with many other great corporations. Mike recently received certification as a minority business professional from the Northwest Mountains Minority Supplier Developer Council in November of 2016. Through photography, Mike gets to record events, make friends, meet people around the world, and on the home front, his super salesperson wife Barb and dog Stella keep him grounded. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Now, as we get to know our guests in this area, we'd like to ask them a little bit about what they do when they're not doing their trade craft. So when you're not shooting photos, what do you like to do?
Well, unfortunately, most of the time it's working in the yard.
In the yard?
Yes. But I have been doing more skiing the last few years. I grew up skiing and got away from it, and I'm back at it these last couple of years.
Where do you like to ski?
My favorite place to ski is Jackson Hole.
Jackson.
Been there 15, 16 times.
Wow. Have you been to Whitefish?
Not been to Whitefish.
But Jackson Hole.
Big Sky, a few other places, Chamonix, Of course, all the major Colorado resorts.
Okay. All right. Well, Jackson Hole's on my list.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It's gorgeous. So, Mike, we like to ask each guest to share a fond memory about the home you grew up in.
I think one of the greatest things that my mom and dad did for us kids is that they threw all kinds of stuff at us. They would take us fishing to see if that stuck. And of course, that's how I got into skiing. Is they would take us skiing. They would take us mushroom hunting. They gave us scuba diving lessons. They did all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wow.
I thought you meant literally throw stuff at you.
Yeah.
That's maybe a bad memory I had, but never mind. No.
So that was one of the really cool things about growing up in our household.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
Mostly in North Seattle Shoreline District.
North Seattle. So a local guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Awesome. So this is a hot topic here, I know, for a lot of people. And the first question is, why is it so hard to get a headshot?
There's a lot of a little trepidation by people coming in for a headshot. One of the hardest things to do is to just stand there in front of the camera with these lights on you. There's no props. There's nothing there. So ironically, the photograph that we need for ourselves most in business is actually one of the hardest ones to have taken of you, because you're not playing with your dog. You're not, hugging your wife or significant other. You're just standing there.
Right. So it's really hard. How do you help with that?
Well, my mentor, Peter Hurley, who is considered one of the best headshot photographers in the world, he has a phrase. He says, headshot photography is 10% photography and 90% psychology. And so the technical part is not nearly as important as connecting with the people, getting a sense of where they are, building them up, and helping them be themselves while they're standing there with all these lights in front of this plain background.
Help them relax and just kind of, because the best shots are when you're natural, and somebody surprises you with a camera on their phone. You don't know that you're on camera, but when you set up that system, lights are on, and you're like, oh, this has got to look really good. There's that pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you really answered the question that was bounced around my head about why hire a professional. I think it's that psychology you mentioned. Can you give us another example of that?
Well, beyond the direct direction, that psychology of it is some people come in, they're very shy and reserved, and you have to sort of gently pull them up to their normal personality. Other people come in like, all right, I'm on fire, let's go, let's do this. And you have to sort of settle them down because they're like overly excited. So there's that range of things. And so that's where you get good at reading the people and kind of connecting, and sometimes in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Now, Brian and I are in the world of real estate, and we see a lot of headshot photos. Why would a real estate professional need more than one?
A lot of times you'll not necessarily want to have the same image on your real estate page as your LinkedIn profile, or if you're doing some speaking engagements or attending a conference where you're on the program, you would want to have maybe a slightly different shot, also maybe more formal and more casual versions of your headshots, so that you're ready to provide those to whoever's looking for a headshot.
Awesome.
So what do you think about the online rating apps to pick the best headshots?
Well, they're very interesting, and sometimes I think they do select a great headshot. If you put up several options and they try to figure out the best one. Sometimes I think they do. Other times I disagree with them. So it's a bit subjective, and I think that comes down to the human touch, the personal one-on-one relationship that you build with the person. And when we're reviewing the photos during the session, we'll be going through them and we'll say, oh, no, yes, no, that's good, maybe like it. And then we'll go like, boom, both of us will say, oh, that's the one.
So
that's
you do
really
it during
great.
the session?
Yes.
So you're working digitally
yes.
on these? Yeah.
And so those kinds of subjective things that you both see, those little micro expressions, those just tiny little differences between images, I think sometimes those are lost a little bit in the AI type of evaluation.
That's very true, especially how many hundreds, how many thousands of headshots have you looked at? Millions, right?
Of a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So after a while, there's an instinctual thing that takes over from a professional like yourself.
You see the little relaxation in the face, the little bit of relaxation in the eyes, or maybe a little more comfort level increases as you go on through the session.
So what is a micro expression?
That is something that if we're trying to emulate it, and by looking in the mirror and saying, oh, I'm going to let my smile come down or up just a little bit, it's virtually impossible to consciously do. But these little micro expressions are where you catch that Duchamp smile, where you catch that real natural smile, and people are able to identify it even if they don't have training. And it's not something that, oh, you needed to move the corner of your mouth 1/16 of an inch up or down, or it's just people see it.
So
as
it's very
human
nuanced.
beings. Yes.
Interesting.
That is really good.
So can you manage large corporations and conferences?
Those are some really great projects for me. We sometimes will bring in multiple photographers, sometimes with makeup artists, and we'll set up a photo booth there, and we use very similar system, just refined a little bit to get the number of people through and the amount of time that's required. And that's really good for companies where they have their sales team in for a meeting, and they want everybody's LinkedIn page, everybody's corporate bio page
Gotcha.
to look good and consistent.
So that's a thing where you could do maybe a luncheon shoot or afternoon team meeting.
Yes, sometimes it's 2 hours in the afternoon, or sometimes it's they have you hang out all day and shoot during the breaks.
Okay.
Other times they'll have you come in and they'll set it up so that you'll photograph like 100 people in a day.
Wow. When you do something like that, how many shots of each people are you trying to get? Because obviously you can't stop and.
We actually do review each person's image, even in those rapid fire sessions. I call them super nano headshot sessions because we're going so fast, and I may only have 2 minutes with one person, 3 minutes with another person. Sometimes someone will come in and they'll be done in a minute. We can spend 5 minutes with someone who's not relaxing as easily, but they're very fast, and so I don't think 3 exposures. That's it. I just think, okay, we capture 1 or 2, and then we look or not, and then we keep going. So it might be 20, it might be 2.
Interesting.
Wow.
And I think a lot of folks they do it as an afterthought. It's not an intentional thing. And when you look at professionalism, right, and you kind of there's that what is that Blink, right? Malcolm Gladwell, when you just kind of see some marketing material and you see stuff, and when a photo shoot looks like an afterthought, maybe doesn't carry the same power, same weight as something that has actually been intentionally thought about it.
Well, I know that, real estate professionals, they take great care in their presentation. And it's in their business card, it's in their online and on their pages online, it's in all their profiles. And this is one aspect of that total package that they create and are very conscious of, and I think rightly so, to truly be professional.
Awesome. So, advice for those out there listening: how do they relax in front of a camera?
It's kind of up to the photographer to get you relaxed, but I would say that, it's to tell someone how to relax in front of the camera is a real puzzle. I actually never tell anyone how to do that. I'm always doing a little sort of misdirection where I'm talking to them or giving them things to think about that is not, think about you're in front of the camera.
Right,
right. So I guess if I were giving advice to someone, I was like, start thinking about the best time you had at your last exercise session or yoga session, or maybe you love to read. Think about the really coolest ending of a book you've read recently. Don't think about, here I am in front of the camera.
So what about clothes? What do you recommend people wear?
I like to suggest people wear very solid colors. Anything that distracts, like a busy pattern or a particularly bright color, I would recommend against, unless that's part of their look. If that's part of their brand, let's say they wear certain jewelry or certain colors, then that can be incorporated. But if it's not part of their brand, it might be too distracting. So kind of darker tones, but not black usually, unless that's part of your brand. But the tones that are solid and don't take anything away from your face. We want to see your face. We want to see you.
So this shirt might be a little too loud?
Well, for you, it'd probably be really good.
Okay. Oh.
How about makeup?
Makeup. Men, I usually say no makeup. Women, I would say keep it clean and simple. Go for that supernatural look. This is not a glamour shot most of the time when you're doing a corporate headshot or a professional headshot. That's a different photo shoot, glamour look. This is a natural look. How you'll meet people the way you look, not when you're going out on to the red carpet and you're at the Oscars or something. That's not how you look every day.
That's not the point. Well, listen, we're about at the end, but I wanted to just kind of wrap this up for our listeners. It's clear that Mike is a true professional when it comes to helping you create that image that you need. So if you're out there and you're listening, there's not only that, but setting the tone, helping you be prepared for it. So please do reach out to Mike. Mike, how do listeners get a hold of you?
Well, the best way is through my website, which is unfortunately a little long because Mike Nakamura is a very common name. So MikeNakamuraPhotography.com.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
I appreciate it. It's my pleasure.
All righty. So after the break, we're going to have Wilma Peck from Michael's Auto Repair, who knows a thing or two about Old Man Winter, and it ain't pretty. Join us after the break.
Are you stressed out just thinking about a new headshot? Well, Michael Nakamura Photography helps individuals and companies breeze past the pressure and anxiety with individual coaching and subconscious direction. No one leaves a session without their best headshot ever. Mike is a headshot specialist, creating hundreds of headshots a year for discerning customers. It's the home of the one chin headshot. Give Mike a call at 425-260-4033 or check out his booking page. Just type into any browser mnp.as.me.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Fall is a crucial time to have your vehicle inspected, starting with the 4 B's: batteries, brakes, belts, and blades. Cold weather only makes existing problems worse. A fall maintenance checkup may also include changing your oil, flushing your cooling system, cabin filters, and inspecting the heating and exhaust systems. Michaels can help get your vehicle ready for fall. Don't let ugly car problems ruin the beautiful season. Learn more at www.michaelsautorepair.com.
Wondering what's on next on Alternative Talk 1150? Check out 1150kknw.com.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan.
Our next guest is Wilma Peck of Michael's Auto Repair. Michael and Wilma opened the doors to their shop 31 years ago. Starting out was not easy, but Michael knew that over time and with their honesty, integrity, that they could build their business one customer at a time based on trust, fair prices, quality parts, quality workmanship, and extraordinary customer service. 31 years later, they continue to build their business, turning new customers into lifelong relationships. Welcome to the show, Wilma.
Thank you, Brian.
So, can you tell us what you're doing when you're not providing extraordinary customer service?
Sure. So our family's very involved in drag racing.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Yep. So we travel all over, and right now we're just showcasing a Nitro Nostalgia Funny Car. That's what our whole family works on it, and the whole family's been raised in drag racing. All the kids have raced. I've raced. My husband's raced.
What's the racing team called?
The new team is called the Instigator.
Oh,
Instigator.
Not multiple, just one.
Yeah, the Instigator. That would be my oldest son.
So tell us again what the name, say that again. The funny car, the nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
What is a nostalgia funny car?
It is a car that's back from like 70 and older.
Yeah.
And we run it on nitro. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you watch or if you follow NHRA at all. John Force and them, it's what they raced in the 60s and 70s. So we're limited to pump size. We're limited to different rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty fun.
I went to a drag race 10 years ago. My hearing's almost back now. So it's loud.
Very loud.
Where do you guys
pretty
race?
exciting.
We race, so we're done for the year, but we'll start out next year in Bakersfield at the March meet, and then we'll go to Arizona. We'll hit Seattle twice. We'll be in Boise, Idaho, and then back in Boise and back in Arizona.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
That's a great hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a family hobby.
It's a family hobby. It's all the kids were raised in it. I couldn't imagine raising my family any other way. We thrive as a family, and it's kind of cool because now my kids are in their 30s, and other than my youngest is 28, but they're part of the team. Even my daughter works on the car. She works on the right head.
Who's the driver?
The driver is my husband, and my oldest son, he'll start driving here soon. He's got to get licensed, but he's actually partnership with us in the car.
Wow, exciting.
And this car's named after him, the Instigator. Is
It
that what you
is.
said?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's a whole nother story.
So is there one named after your daughter and your other son, or?
No.
No. Oh, okay. That's another story. Probably don't want to put down on tape. Okay. I got you. Okay. So we always ask, because this is a show about real estate and it's really a show about homes and living in homes. So tell us about the home that you grew up in and maybe a fond memory from that.
So I feel very fortunate. I grew up in a home in a small town called Glendora, California. It's Southern California, right at the base of the foothills. And it was actually a custom home that my father had built.
Awesome.
Right within the middle of the orange groves and all the avocado groves, but absolutely love that house. I think the fondest memory would be just the holidays we had there, my mom cooking, and then I don't know why, but I always think about the grass. My father we always had dichondra.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Type of grass. Yep.
You can't even walk on it in the summer, and if there's one blade of straight grass sticking out of it, we were out there with our pail. We'd have to pick the little grass out. It's horrible. But I remember that.
But your dad loved having it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
that's
kind of a
funny.
special
funny.
grass.
The special grass. Oh, that's a different kind of thing, too.
Yep.
All right. So it's up to you.
How did you and Mike get started in the industry?
So Mike actually started in the industry, funny enough, because our first guest was a photographer. He wanted to be a photographer, and he had a family friend that said, you don't want to do that. And so he was kind of confused what to do. He actually is born and raised in New Zealand, and in New Zealand, it's very trade-oriented.
Right.
So he ended up going to the trades because he loved the American muscle car. So he actually went into the automotive trade, which was a very lengthy program. Back there in New Zealand, they go through 5 years of schooling plus 5 years of on-the-job training at the same time. School during the night, working in the shop during the day. And so he came back here to America, or came to America, and he actually worked at independents. He worked at dealerships, and then he eventually had enough and quit. He ended up going into the pool business, believe it or not, down in Southern California. And we eventually moved up here after our first child was born, and we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to do for our livelihood, so he couldn't do pools because there was no pools up here. So he actually,
That's true.
he started working for someone, and I thought we were going to go broke because it just wasn't cutting it. So we decided to just take a risk and open our own shop. So he opened it 31 years ago and worked all by himself for a while. And at that time, I was in the banking industry, and and the rest is history.
And you joined him, and
I joined
ran
him
the
after we
business.
had our third child. I quit working. I retired actually, and then I went in there. I wasn't used to being a stay-at-home mom, so I came into work and just kind of brought my customer service expertise that I had from banking.
Yeah.
And that was that.
That's interesting. So, side note is, Michael, is he a rugby fan?
I don't know.
I think you would know. How long have you been married to him? You would definitely
long time.
know.
You know.
would definitely know.
You
Just
know.
because New Zealand just lost to England last week, so
Yeah.
he would have said something about that.
No, he didn't say.
Okay,
He didn't.
so-
He's not a fan.
Ah,
Well,
surprising. All right. All right. So you told us you guys have been in business for 31 years, but have you been in the same place for 31 years?
No. So we've been in the location we're in now we've been there for about 16 years, and then we're just a couple blocks away, and we were there at that location for about the same amount of time.
And where are you located?
We're located in Redmond, right off of Redmond Way and East Lake Sammamish area.
To be specific, folks, if you know where the Blazing Bagels is, it's right near there in Redmond, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Or for our real estate friends, next to Sign Pros.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly.
Every realtor knows
That's
right where you are now.
Yep, that's where we get all of our signs. Yep. All right. So, what are the hours of operation?
So we're only open 4 days a week. So we only work Monday through Thursday. We made a decision many years ago, probably about, oh my goodness, maybe about 20 years ago, that we needed to give ourselves and our employees a little bit of life-work balance. It's being a technician is very difficult, very hard on the body. So we decided to go 4/10s, and it works well for us.
Nice. So is an appointment needed?
Oh yes, definitely.
Well, good.
Yeah.
All right. So, I've got a Toyota Camry hybrid. Do you work on those?
We do.
Okay. I also have a Toyota FJ Cruiser. Do you work on those?
We do.
Are we running the list?
I also have a Toyota Corolla. Do you work on those?
We do.
All right.
We love Toyotas.
89 Land Cruiser.
We do.
So
Keep
do I.
going.
Can you tell? Do you work on Fords? I mean,
We do.
probably often, but
Yeah.
I'm just sorry. I'm just
Yeah.
to my four
Mercedes.
friends out there.
Do.
Good. I need some work.
What cars do you not work on?
We don't work on Ferraris or Maseratis or Teslas. A lot of those, the older Jaguars, they're just hard to get parts for.
Right.
And we want to get the work in and get it out. Nobody wants to have their car hanging around the shop. So
Do you service fleet accounts?
we do. Yeah, we service quite a lot of fleet accounts. A lot of our fleet accounts have the big Isuzu MPR trucks or your big Sprinter vans. You have to have a specialized lift for that, one that holds the heavier weight. We do a lot of landscaping vehicles.
So, what do fleet managers need to know about Mike's Auto Repair?
I think that the most important thing to know is that we treat them just as if they're like a customer with a regular car. So there's no special pricing in regards to, a lot of times your heavier vehicles have higher price tags
Lots of wear and
attached to them.
tear. Yeah.
Well, they have higher price tags because they're bigger vehicles, and we don't do that. The other thing, we know that a fleet customer has to have, I mean, that's their bread and butter. That's how they
Right.
make their money. So we're very good at making sure that those vehicles come in and out and almost have a little bit of special priority.
Okay. So, in a general sense, what kind of services do you provide?
So we actually provide a lot. So anything from as simple as an oil change, we do brakes, we do any kind of engine work, transmissions, rotating tires, clutches, all your different fluid services. So the only thing that we actually sublet out of our shop would be wheel alignments, and we actually kind of try to micromanage those. We'll send those up the street to Les Schwab. And then
That's
we'll
close
bring
by,
them
yeah.
back, and so that the customer doesn't even have to take them up there. We'll do it for them.
Where do most of your customers come from?
You know, most of our customers, believe it or not, come from all over the place. We draw a huge crowd, obviously, from Redmond, Sammamish. We've got Woodinville, Kirkland, Seattle. We have a few that come down from Marysville. So they just kind of come from all over the place. Mercer Island. Yeah.
So, growing up down where I grew up, there was a friend behind us that was our neighborhood mechanic, right? And we always took our cars there because we knew it was somebody we can trust. And when I moved to Seattle, there was a problem with one of my cars. One car. I only had the one. And I remember taking it to a place, and they said, well, we think it's this, right? And so I'd spend $350, and as a student, that was a lot of money, right? And then, boom, problem still happening, right? And then later, I had a friend who told me, they said, hey, turn on your heat. That'll help. It was overheating, right? He's like, turn on your heater. It'll help. So I was always driving around with my heater on in order to prevent my car from overheating.
Summertime.
and then somebody said to me, they said, well, maybe your fan isn't coming on. Maybe the fuse is gone in your fan. It was a Jeep Cherokee. And I was like a 97-cent fan, because I think the second thing they had me replace was the thermostat, right, that turns on the water through. And so the second thing they had me, so a friend said, well, check the fuse. So I checked the fuse. It was the fuse in the fan.
That was your fix.
So this mechanic was just bilking me.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you check the fuse first if you're an expert, right, doing that? So I know I'm not the only person that has a story like that, right?
Yeah. I think that, and that's one thing that Mike always says, and he always reminds the technicians, start with the basics.
Right.
Don't try to overshoot it or diagnose it. Always start with the basics, and that's one of the first things we always check are your fuses, because that's a quick, simple fix, and it makes a very happy customer when it's just a fuse. Oh yeah. So.
I think I had to go into debt to fix that car. It was a freaking fuse,
Oh, do I know that
be
one?
frustrating.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember one of those aha moments when my oldest son, he comes home and he says, Dad, he says, I really get it. He says, I am driving my car so carefully, like you always told me. Why? I can't afford for it to break. With 3 boys, we had some people that were pretty hard on cars until they had to pay for them.
Exactly. We've had to deal with those stories where cars will come in and Mike will have to call the parents and say, well, we can tell here that your son or daughter has been driving this way. Or information that we gather from the car. I mean, he's like, these rotors have gotten really hot. They're doing something out there, or the clutch has been burnt up. It's not because
jamming on the brakes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got 2 new dents on that Camry, and they weren't from me. From the daughter.
Oh, funny.
Number.
So how do our listeners get a hold of you?
So they can get a hold of us 2 ways. They can actually call the office if they want to make an appointment or talk to Mike, and that phone number is 425-869-2419, or they can also go to our website, which is michaelsautorepair.com, and they can ask questions on the website. And I think one of the things that people really appreciate about Michael is he's so patient on the phone. He'll talk to you and just talk through your issues with you, which is really nice. He spends a lot of time talking to clients.
I think that 410s makes a whole lot of sense because a lot of people are needing to come later in the evening, right? And do you guys ever have problems getting people in, or is there a backlog to get a car in just for like a regular servicing?
We're pretty efficient. So in the summertime, we might be a week to 2 weeks out, but we usually run through about 50 cars in those 4 days, and we're actually pretty efficient in everything we do. And
That's great.
Not really.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wilma, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
For those of you interested in getting those necessary repairs done with Michael's Auto Repair, mention that you heard about them on RealTalk and receive 10% off parts and labor on all services. Wow, you can't beat that. That's a nice offer.
We never give a discount, so no, you can't beat that.
No, that's great. That's great. Hey, it pays to be one of our listeners, right?
That's right.
Let's see. Remember that this and other segments of our show are available to watch at our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Eastside Real Estate Team. If you're interested in learning more from these or future guests, join us after the break for some final thoughts and something fun to do this holiday. We'll be right back.
Fall is a crucial time to have your vehicle inspected, starting with the 4 B's: batteries, brakes, belts, and blades. Cold weather only makes existing problems worse. A fall maintenance checkup may also include changing your oil, flushing your cooling system, cabin filters, and inspecting the heating and exhaust systems. Michaels can help get your vehicle ready for fall. Don't let ugly car problems ruin the beautiful season. Learn more at www.michaelsautorepair.com.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you stressed out just thinking about a new headshot? Well, Michael Nakamura Photography helps individuals and companies breeze past the pressure and anxiety with individual coaching and subconscious direction. No one leaves a session without their best headshot ever. Mike is a headshot specialist, creating hundreds of headshots a year for discerning customers. It's the home of the one chin headshot. Give Mike a call at 425-260-4033 or check out his booking page. Just type into any browser mnp.as.me.
Make us part of your daily routine. Alternative Talk 1150.
Well, welcome back on this beautiful autumn day to 1150 Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. This is the time of year I love.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's cool outside. The heat kicks on at night.
The leaves are so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, we were driving down East Lake Sammamish the other day, and the sun's just like streaming through the leaves, and I don't know. It's maybe one of the best places in the world to enjoy this time of year. So Brian, what do you got for us? Final
thought. Thinking about a transaction I'm helping negotiate this week, where I'm representing the buyer, and I got a seller who's emotionally a little too invested to let the place go. And my counsel to my buyer is always want to buy a home, never need to buy a home.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the key roles that Dan and I play is helping our clients keep their objectivity. And in this case, I think there could be an impression, some people's like the broker just really pushes for the sale, push. Well, we never push. So in this instance, I'm really holding them back. I'm saying, if you want to proceed, go for it. But my advice is relax, take your time, let the seller stew on it a little bit, because what they're holding out for isn't a realistic price for the home. The buyer is being very reasonable. The seller is a little too emotionally invested. So want to buy, don't have to buy.
Yeah, and I definitely, the other part of it is when you're in a transaction is don't get emotionally attached until the keys are in your hand.
Right, yeah.
Stuff can go sideways, and it is our job to kind of help walk you through, make sure everything's going through. But huge disappointment can go through, especially all the things we've talked about, looking at houses before getting pre-approved. This is a big deal. Buying a home is a big deal. Yep. And you need somebody to help kind of give you some guidance and walk you through.
Some objectivity.
So great advice.
So Dan, tell us what's happened. What's fun out there?
Well, it looks like we've got a holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
The Halloween holiday. So we want to remind everybody, be careful. Get those glow sticks and just attach them to the little kids before they're, run off. I remember one year, Hayden, my son, was a monkey, and it was like there was monkeys everywhere, and then off he ran because he knew candy was at the next door, and it's like, where did that kid go? It's dark out. So just pay extra special attention. If you want to control them in a controlled space in Crossroads of Bellevue, they're doing Halloween. So it's from 4 to 6 o'clock. That's there's going to be shopping, obviously. But a special photo op area in the shopping center. Planet Fly will be performing live music on the market stage for hungry ghosts and goblins and their parents, and it's sponsored by the Eastside Heritage Center. You can find more information on this and other fun events at bellevue.com/happenings.
So one other thing is this is Seattle Restaurant Week.
Ooh, yeah.
So if you're looking for a really fun date, there's hundreds, well, probably not dozens of restaurants that are just fabulous who serve a 3-course dinner, $35. That's unbelievable. My wife and I are planning a little date night tonight.
Where are you going?
Going to Luke.
Luke?
Luke.
L-U-K-E?
L-U-C.
L-U-C.
Luke. It's
Oh,
one
that's
of
very-
the Chef in the Hat, Chef Rotaro, one of his restaurants we've wanted to try for some time.
Awesome.
So anyway, that concludes our show for this week. I want to especially thank our guests, Mike and Wilma, for taking the time to speak with us. It was a great show. And thank you for listening. Before we go, I found this quote about home that I like to share. A house is made with walls and beams. A home is made with love and dreams. Author unknown. That's it for this week. Listen to us next week.
And thanks
Same
for
time,
listening.
Same place.